DIY exposed lath and plaster walls, I'm going to show you how. Stay to the end. I'm going to show you different ways of how we apply this method in our home. Simple tools needed.
Basically, a keyhole saw to cut it out, pencil to mark it with, a stud finder if you need to find the studs, or you can just stick your saw in and go cut to the edge. Tape measure if you want to measure the studs, and these will be pallet boards. They're ripped into random widths. Just find an old pallet, let it sit out in the weather or whatever. And what we'll do is we're going to put them on the studs. We'll nail them in, leaving about a 1/4 to 3/8 gap in between them. Something like this. Pick a spot above a door to the center of the wall that you can just brace it out. So what we're going to do with our pencil is we'll take a slat, we'll start over here on the edge, and then we'll come over to our stud. So I know it's 16 inches on center, to the center of the stud, 16, 32. This first one I'm just going to take and we're going to go. So this one will come down like this, it'll come over, and if you wanted you can come down and you can have a couple of them come out. We're going to cut all this out. And we're going to set up leaning against the wall so that we can cut this out more efficiently. What you do is you want to dry lay some of these out, kind of get a feel of where they're going to go. You don't want your gap real wide, because then it takes a lot of mud and a lot harder to do than to leave small gaps like this. You have to just work them around a little bit. Go cut one a little skinnier on a saw. Over here on this edge, you can actually just take your pencil, and once you find out which ones you want, you just draw back here on the back of them. And then you go to the saw and you cut it. So I'll do one, and then we'll do this and come back and show you after it's all done. So I'm going to just use this center one. I'm going to draw it. You can mark it up here if you want. And we'll come right back, show you how to put it on. Best to use a finishing nailer and finish nails or slat nails. I mean, best to use slat nails or finish nails. You won't see the heads like you do a little bit here with a staple, but mine's on a job, so I don't have it here today. See, it's not perfect. You don't want everyone to look perfect. You want wider, skinnier. Your slats can be different width thicknesses and widths. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some surface bonding cement, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the label. We get it from Lowe's, and we'll apply the surface bonding cement, and we're going to let it sit overnight. And tomorrow we'll come back and we'll blend everything so that it doesn't look square and out of shape. It'll blend it in. So we use our surface bonding cement. I had it leaning against the wall to show you how to apply if it was vertical. Now it's laying down flat like a floor. We're going to see if I can demonstrate a little bit this way, just so it's easier for you to see. With the hawk, what we were doing is we were applying it, but basically what we were doing is we were leaning the hawk against the wall, coming off with our trowel, sliding up. Now what we're going to do is basically the same thing, but it's going to be laying down. If you're worried about insulation and stuff, back here where the studs were, you could apply tar paper, vapor barrier of some sort to keep it from going in the walls. This is a demonstration. I got plastic bag down behind it, so if it falls through, it won't hurt anything. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try to finish this out. It wants to fall through. Not what I really want it to do. Let's try to make it work. Dress this up around the wood slats, blend it in a little bit with spackle. I always use a mixing mixer, mix it up. All you want to do is get light and airy. A handy tool is this bucket scoop, because it fits the curve of the bucket. So you don't get it all on the sides. It's really easy to work with. Just put what you think you're going to use on, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use a 6-inch knife, and then you can use 8, 10, 12, whatever the size of your project. we're gonna go over and start our project. We'll meet you over at the table. What we're gonna do today is we're just gonna blend so that it doesn't look square here. Maybe cover these up a little bit. Make it look like the plaster came off and fell, not like we cut it in and repaired it. So just take some of your mud and you can just go a little bit, make it look jagged. And like I said, there is no right or wrong. You can make it look what you want it. And then we got textured, which I did a couple weeks ago, of how to do this texture with no sanding. So to blend it back in, I'm just gonna make random texture. And when it dries, it'll be ready for paint. Same thing we're gonna do over here. And you can do this on a smooth surface as well. It doesn't have to be a textured wall. Make it look like it's with an old plaster slat falling apart. Now if you had a bigger area, wall, whatever, you can use a bigger knife. So that you'll have a bunch of small lines. And then what I would do is let this dry overnight, day and a half, and come back, touch up if you want, and then go ahead and paint it with 2 coats of semi-gloss. So we'll go back and do that tomorrow or the next day. You can hit this wood with a clear lacquer, polyurethane, something like that. Just hold your piece of cardboard over this area. Spray this, keep the overspray from getting on your wall. But you can make this a little shiny, matte finish, whatever you want. I choose to leave it natural because I think it has a better effect. You may choose to have it look a little cleaner.
And here are images of the actual process when we use the brick and the lathing strips. The next 3 pictures were done during new construction in my blogging room using brick. If you want to learn about the whitewashed walls, I'll leave the link below to the video or look up to the right. The next 2 pictures were actually done inside my home 10 years after living there. They were done on the technique that we just showed you how to. If you like this type of video, be sure to check out the playlist for DIY. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Most important, please share and give a thumbs up.